guys? It's Jamma 1000 here today with the Empire Vanquish 1.5 review. I finally have the time to get this out of the way, and I'm pretty excited because this is an awesome gun that I want you guys to see. Throughout this, I already will mention it later on. We're not going to be doing a shooting video, but I do have a bolt comparison. If you want to see a shooting video, there will be a link in the description down below, and I'll post it up later on in the video. However, let's go down to the table and kick off the Empire Vanquish 1.5 review. Alrighty, so here we are with the Empire Vanquish, and what I have here is the gun case and the display box that it comes in. And I wanted to bring this out because it's a really nice display box that it comes with. It has this mirrored panel that stored underneath is the gun case when you buy it brand new. And the gun is displayed nice on top with this really cool fashion. I really like how they did it, and it just, that extra amount of effort they did in the display model is awesome. So good job on them. And here we are with the gun case, and when you open it up, you'll notice something. I actually have two guns in here. I have both the Axe and the Vanquish, and what's cool is it can actually fit both these guns just fine. This does zip up and it is a bit tight with the Vanquish. However, it is nice that it actually has enough room for both the guns, and I think that's because it is a little bit of a stretchier material. That's why it can do that. So if you want to pack light, you can just bring the gun case with a couple other things in a backpack and you're all set. So in the case, it's going to come with obviously all the goodies. The marker's going to be on top, but you're going to get the whole full Super Freak barrel kit with a 675, 680, 685, 695, and a 690, as well as the carbon fiber tip. So I'll take that out for you now. And some people were complaining about the machining that the Vanquish had. I haven't really noticed anything super bad about it. It seems pretty fine for me. Works good. Only thing I do notice is that since it is the carbon fiber tip, this may fray a bit easier. I can already start seeing inside there's some marks from usage, so just kind of a thing. And I wish they included both the carbon fiber and the aluminum tip that the Super Freak has, just for that extra little bit of, you know, selling factor. However, it's still nice that they include the full barrel kit. And it's also going to come with, inside here, you'll see the ever so popular Allen key. This is the one Allen key that works for the whole entire marker. It's going to come with some lube, little parts kit, spare detents, and the other bolts. This is the stock bolt. I have the red one in there, but we'll get more in depth about those in a sec. Also going to come with goodies such as the bottle opener, the headband, the manual. It's a CD manual, so it's not going to come with a color manual, which is the only thing I dislike. However, can't really complain too much there. So with all that set aside, we'll just throw the gun case over here, and we're going to go from top to bottom with the Empire Vanquish and pretty much what I think about it. So we'll start up with the barrel. We already kind of went over it. It is the Super Freak kit. What's cool though is when you screw it into the gun, the threading is actually shaved down a little bit more. So instead of the 100 turns that it takes with the standard auto cocker threads, it actually only does, if we see here, 1, 2, 3 and a little bit. So 3 and a little bit turns, you may be able to get it in sooner. I've seen ones that people are like, oh, you get it in 1 turn, but it is a lot shorter than the stock auto cocker threading that all the other barrels have. So kind of nice that it actually has that. Moving on down, we're going to go to the feed neck. The feed neck is fairly decent feed neck. It is the new designs feed neck that you also see on the Empire axes, the Pro axes. Really good feed neck, works good, just does its job, not too fancy, nothing super special. We'll go on down to the detents in the eyes. So when you take off the detent, the cool thing is I like how they make this little notch cut out in the side there, so the screw is all hidden and flushed away. So nice job that they did that. Only thing I was noticing with the new 1.5 updates was this detent isn't really something super special, in the sense all it really is a slot cutout with a spring-loaded detent. It works, so I'm not gonna complain about it. However, it's not really anything, you know, superb. They really just machined out a slot and threw in a spring-loaded detent, so it's gonna work, but wish they went a little bit more with something a bit fancier. because it can pop out easier. There's nothing really securing it down a lot. But, you know, if it works, you can't really complain too much. And when you're looking at the eyes there, you may notice that they look a lot like the Bob Long 4C eyes. That's because they're not really Bob Long eyes. They're actually eyes made by a separate company that also supplied them for Bob Long. So this is 4C eyes, or you can get the 4C eye update, but it's not the Bob Long 4C eyes. It's the Vanquish 4C eyes. It's just made by the company who makes the 4C eyes. So they're good eyes. I found that at first I thought they were a bit slow, but it turns out it was just my hopper being slow. So good eyes, they work. Simple as that. So can't really say too much more about that. And as you see, screws in nice and flush with the accents. So just like that. Simple as that. Moving down, we'll go to the board. It is the OLED board, as you see on there, and it's going to tell you, if you see that, it's going to tell you all the information you need from the micro switch, if it's activated or not, the game timer, bulbs per second, peak, average, if there's eyes are blocked or not. Also, you can change up a lot of different things. If you'll see in some of the, when it comes out of the box, you're going to turn it on. It's going to have a boot up menu. I set mine to 0 boot up time, so as soon as I turn it on, it's ready to fire. So you can change that, which is really cool. And it is a really awesome board. I love the red line board. They did a really good job. It's very easy to read, very easy to navigate with the little 4-way button or 4-way kind of switch it has. So really, really nice job on the board. Cannot say enough good things about it. We'll move on to the trigger. Trigger is really, really, really nice. A lot of people have been putting a lot of hype or emphasis on the Empire Vanquish trigger, and I must agree, it is a really nice trigger for walking, for just sitting on constantly. Can't say enough good things, and it comes out super easily with the one screw. Slip it out, pop it back in. Simple as that. We'll move on down to the ASA/regulator. When I say that, it's because the ASA is the regulator. It doesn't come apart. It works. It's a very, very touchy though. I found it was a very small amount you have to twist it for it to actually change the pressure. So don't really be cranking it in and out too much. You only really need to do max like one turn to really adjust it because it's so small. So good regulator. Can't take it apart though, so nothing bad, nothing really good about it. Moving on, we'll go to the ergonomics. The ergonomics of the gun, when you're holding it, it just feels so solid and stretched out that it is very similar to a Lux, I'll admit. But for some reason, it's much longer, it feels like, with the weight it has added to it. When you are shooting, it barely moves. It feels really, really nice. It's a very nice feeling gun. I like how they did the ergonomics, and it's an awesome feature to have. Well, quickly before I get into the bolts, I want to show you something that comes pretty cool with the Vanquish, and it is the halfway option. Let me quickly take off this barrel. And if you have some paint or debris or you want to get into the gun, all you got to do is take this little screw out at the front. Doesn't have to come all the way out, just lifts it up like that, and then when you lift it, the gun separates completely in half. It's a little bit dirty in there, but as you see, completely in half. And the micro switch is actually up there instead of inside the grip frame. So really awesome that they did that. I think this gun is super, super cool for that alone. So awesome feature that they added, and it's good just for cleaning and getting into the gun a lot easier. And it doesn't really leak. It seals up nice and fine. It's got a really long screw, so you're not going to have to worry about the threading getting all messed up. And yeah, so simple as that. So putting the gun aside, we're going to talk about the bolts quickly. We're going to quickly, before I jump into much more detail, we're not going to really do a shooting video per se. If you want to check out a shooting video, I have it posted right here. I'll just post it somewhere on this page. You can go to that link and go see the Empire Vanquish, 1.5 shooting. But what we're going to do in this video is we're going to take the red bolt here, the soft shot red bolt, and compare it to the stock polish bolt that it comes with right here. How it's going to work is I think that they machined this one a bit differently. So it's gonna use, I'm not really sure actually how they did it. All I know is it kind of makes it a bit softer. But for sound comparison's sake, we'll go to the video and we'll see if it sounds any different. Alrighty, so here we are outside with the bolt comparison. And just to show you, we are going to be starting with the red polished soft shot bolt. Alrighty, so croning at 291, 285, 279, 285. Alrighty, and here we are with the stocked polished bolt. I've not adjusted any of the pressure or anything, just quickly lube this up and we're going to throw it right back in. Alrighty, sitting at 282, 280, 281, 291. Alrighty, so now you saw a comparison. Going over the bolt, you can see that it looks very, very similar to a Lux bolt. It pretty much has the Lux can, the Lux guide rod. Everything is pretty much a Lux bolt here, and why that is because if you don't know this by now, when Smart Parts went out of business, the people who owned DLX Lux, when they went out of business, Empire bought all the schematics, or Key Action bought all the schematics for their guns and for all this stuff. So that's why they have the Super Freak barrel. That's why they have everything that looks a lot like a Lux on here is going to be, especially the bolt, that's what's on here. People say it's basically a Lux clone. That's because they took a lot of stuff that the Lux had because they have the schematics. So a lot of people are bashing that, but overall, yeah, bolt's fine, shoots smooth. I like it, so yeah. Overall, yeah, so we'll take this over to the backdrop and we'll do a conclusion. Alrighty, so that pretty much wraps up the Empire Vanquish. A couple things I want to quickly go over is, such as efficiency, smoothness, all that kind of stuff. So efficiency, if I'm correct, I think you're going to get about the standard spool valve max, which is 8 to 9 pods, depending on how well you tune this. I like to tune them for a really smooth shot. So I'm not really going for that much efficiency, but I know you can probably tweak it a little bit more to get an extra 1 or 2 pods. However, I think it's pretty efficient enough as it is. Again, spool valve, so it's not the most efficient. Going over how smooth it is, as you can tell by the video, or if you see the shooting video, when I'm shooting it, barely moves out of my hands. This thing is super, super smooth. Even with the stock bolt or the soft shot bolt, it's going to be really, really smooth either way. Looking at the gun, looks aesthetically pleasing. The anodizing on this teal looks really, really nice, and the atomic orange clashes very well with it. As well as these grips, how they have the colored kind of design in there. Really, really nice. You can't say enough good things about this gun. And it's got the toolless removal that is exactly like the axe, as you see here. When you hold the button in, you twist one way, pull back, twist the other way, pulls all the way out. Simple as that. So to conclude this gun, whether you should buy it or not, I think these are retailing at $1,500 for a 1.5. And what happened was, when I think the Vanquish originally came out, a lot of people were raving about the price, how it was so expensive, and really there was so much the gun was coming with, aka a full barrel kit, a gun case, all the parts you'll need, the bottle opener, all the goodies. Everyone was complaining about the price, but really it was worth it for what they were doing and giving you. I would say is completely worth it. As well as if you had a Vanquish and you wanted to send yours away to get the updates, you did, and that's what I did, and the updates were 100% free. So everyone's complaining about the price of these brand new. Every other gun's going to be around that point. The Lux already came out. The OLED Lux came out for about that much. Lux 2.0 when it came out was about that much. So really, price isn't that bad. But when it comes to really buying it, I really like this gun, and this is probably one of my more favorite guns I've had between the Go3 or the Lux 1.0 and the G6R. Between those, this is really up there. But if you want to save a couple extra bucks, you can probably find an old 1.5 Lux or a 2.0 Lux for a pretty cheap price, a used one. Or if you really want to invest in a Lux OLED, this is pretty close to it. Only up I'd say that the Lux has is it has already the updates that it didn't really need. It's got the proven technology of Lux and the board talks and has an OLED. So if you're really looking at the comparison, they're both really close. So if you can find a good gun for a good price, I'd say pick this or a Lux up. They're very similar. Can't really say anything about that. And I'm not saying that the Lux is a bad gun or this is a bad gun at all. They're just extremely similar. They are pretty much spool valve, Lux sort of technology. However, I just like the features that I think this has with the trigger, the OLED board. It's really, really nice gun, and I would definitely recommend this to anyone who is an Empire Vanquish enthusiast or an Empire fan or just a straight paintball person who wants a nice, solid marker. So, thank you very much for watching, guys. If you want to have any more information about this or any other guns, you can go check out Select Paintball. They're down in Vaughan. They got a bunch of other locations, so go check them out. And they can probably get this gun and many other things for you down there. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and hope to see you guys later.